Hello, class. Today's lesson is about high-level thinking questions. This type of question can be further subdivided into two types of questions: generalization questions and analysis questions. Let's look at generalization questions first. As we discussed previously, uptake questions and speculation questions are two types of authentic questions. Now we have a new type of question, the generalization question. This also is a kind of authentic question. A generalization question requires one to generalize an abstract idea. For example, here is a generalization question. What one word best describes the big idea of this picture? You can see many foods and family members. One person says, "We have so much to be thankful for." You should generate one main idea from this information. I will say, it is probably Thanksgiving. Generalization questions require you to provide a big idea by putting different parts together and getting a general rule or theme. So, just like in the previous example, I saw food and family members. And then I generated one big idea: Thanksgiving. In this type of question, the question looks like, what do you make of what happened? Or, what is the big idea of the story? The sentence patterns will include what or the big idea. Let's see an example comparing a generalization statement and question. On the left-hand side is a generalization statement. It says, batteries never last very long. This is a broad statement coming from our personal experience and observation, and we believe this is true. Also, this generalization strategy can be applied to many examples in our daily life. This is what we call a generalization statement. What about a generalization question? This is a question that requires a generalization statement. So, in this example you see here, what do we know about batteries? This is what we call a generalization question. Let's see more examples using the story Ryan and Jonah. You can have many generalization questions. Based on the overall story, you may ask a generalization question like, what message is the author trying to tell us in this story? Based on the interaction among the characters, you may ask, what is the relationship between Ryan and Jonah? Or you may wonder about the personality of the characters. So you will ask, how would you describe Ryan's personality? Let's watch a video that gives more explanation. Please listen carefully to the conversation and identify the generalization questions.
Hi, I'm Mr. B. Nice to meet you. Today we will be focusing on a new type of authentic question called generalization question. Remember, generalization questions are questions about finding the big idea. It involves putting different parts of the story together or generating a general rule or theme. Let's look at what generalization questions students might come up with for the story Ryan and Jonah.
What lesson is the author of Ryan and Jonah trying to teach us in this story?
I think he is trying to tell us that we should always tell the truth because being honest is important.
Well, I think he is telling us that brothers should take good care of each other and act responsibly.
See? Donovan just asked a generalization question about the big idea of the story.
How would you describe Ryan's personality?
He was an honest person because he told his mother the truth at the end.
He was careless because he was not taking good care of his brother.
Great. Tyler just asked a generalization question about a character's personality. In this case, Ryan's personality.
How would you describe the relationship between Ryan and Jonah?
I think they are brothers who are close to and care about each other.
Well, I do not think they like each other very much.
Wow, Catherine asked another generalization question. This one was about the relationship between characters. To come up with a generalization question, you may consider different perspectives. For instance, the main idea or theme of the story, the relationship between the characters, like in this story the relationship between Ryan and Jonah, or between Ryan and his mother, and the personality of the characters. Would you like to give it a try?
If you weren't able to write down all of the generalization questions, you may watch the video again, but I'll discuss these generalization questions in detail. First, one person asks, what lesson is the author of Ryan and Jonah trying to teach us in this story? This is a generalization question asking about the main idea of the story. When you respond to this type of question, you should also give supporting reasons for your ideas. So, the other two members in the video respond to this question by giving their thoughts. A girl says, "We should always tell the truth," and supports her idea by adding the reason, because being honest is important. The second generalization question is, how would you describe Ryan's personality? This question requires the readers to recollect information from the story about Ryan and give a general idea of his personality. One person says, he was an honest person, and supports her idea with, because he told his mother the truth at the end. The third generalization question is, how would you describe the relationship between Ryan and Jonah? This question requires the readers to put together information from the story about the relationship and give a general idea. One person responds, they are brothers who are close and care about each other. Another person responds, I do not think they like each other very much. However, notice that neither of these general statements is supported with reasons. It's possible that there is little information about their interaction in the story. We'll do some practice later toward the end of this PowerPoint presentation. Now, let's discuss the other type of high-level thinking question, the analysis question. As we described earlier, authentic, uptake, and generalization questions are different kinds of authentic questions. So here is a new type of authentic question, the analysis question. Remember that high-level thinking questions include generalization questions and analysis questions. Let's use the same picture and same question as before. My answer to the question is Thanksgiving. So now let's use the pattern, why did you think it was? My question will be, why did you think it was Thanksgiving? And I've come up with several reasons. Because turkey is a traditional food at Thanksgiving. Pumpkin pie is also a traditional food at Thanksgiving. People talk about being thankful on Thanksgiving. Families get together for a big meal on Thanksgiving. An analysis question requires you to break down ideas by looking at different pieces of information in the text and then understanding how they relate to each other. This is what you do in this picture exercise. You look at the picture, identify the details, such as the turkey, and make meaning among the details, such as Thanksgiving. For this type of question, you can use sentence patterns like how did it happen or why did. Let's watch a video for more explanation. Please listen carefully to the conversation and try to identify the analysis questions from the conversation.
Hi everybody. It's me, Mrs. S. Last time, we focused on generalization questions. This time, we will talk about analysis questions. Analysis questions ask you to break down ideas in the text and think about how those ideas relate to each other. You may ask questions like, how did it happen? And, why did? Let's watch another discussion about Ryan and Jonah and take a look at what analysis questions students can think of.
Why did Ryan lie to his mother at first?
Because he was afraid of being punished if his mother found out that he had done something wrong.
Because he thought his brother was okay, so there was no need to tell the truth.
Then why did Ryan decide to tell the truth at the end?
Because at first he did not want to be punished, but he knew being honest was more important.
I think he wanted to take responsibility for what he did.
Fantastic. Gavin and Mia both asked analysis questions. Gavin asked, why did Ryan lie to his mother at first? Mia asked, why did Ryan decide to tell the truth at the end? Good job!
If you weren't able to write down all of the questions, you may watch the video again. But now, let's see some examples of analysis questions from the conversation. The first analysis question is, why did Ryan lie to his mother at first? One student responds, because he was afraid of being punished if his mother found out that he had done something wrong. Another student answers, because he thought his brother was okay, so there was no need to tell the truth. Both of the students used information from the reading to respond to this question. Another analysis question is, why did Ryan decide to tell the truth at the end? One student responds, because at first he did not want to be punished, but he knew being honest was more important. These responses are based on the reading of Ryan and Jonah. Okay, let's do some practice. But before we begin, let's review the question types we've learned so far. Uptake, speculation, and high-level thinking questions are all different kinds of authentic questions. All right, please form a group, and each group should write 2 generalization questions and 2 analysis questions based on Ryan and Jonah. Be sure not to use the same questions that we've already discussed.